How's it going, guys? Today we're going to be doing a full review and cooking test of the Chefwin pan that was recently sent out to me. I've actually been using it for the past week just to kind of get a better idea of how it works. And in this video, we're going to be going ahead and cooking a steak in here at a super high heat and seeing how the pan reacts and how well it cooks the steak. So this is a 316 stainless steel pan and also has 5 total layers of steel inside of here to help make sure that it has a really even cook and there's not a bunch of hot spots on it. And it's also going to help make sure that this stays in this condition for longer, so it should be very rust resistant with the way it's built. We do have the 11-inch size here and it feels solid. I have a bunch of stainless steel pans, but this one seems a lot heavier. So with that being said, let's go ahead and cook that steak and see how the pan does. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and start with the cooking test. So we just cleaned the pan off. Now we're just gonna lightly coat this with some oil and turn it up really hot. Basically, we're sort of like seasoning the pan, getting it prepared for our steak. So now we're just gonna spray a little bit of olive oil on there, and we're also just gonna rub it around just like so. Next up, I'm just gonna turn the heat basically all the way up until I start to see the smoke just a little, and then we'll be almost ready to start cooking our steak. All right, guys, so we got the pan getting pretty hot there. We're gonna go ahead and drop in our steak. You can hear how hot it is. We're gonna let that sit for a little, and then I'll show you guys what the other side of the steak's gonna look like on that sear. Also, just to test it, the actual handle here doesn't feel too hot, so it does seem to keep this cool, whereas a cast iron, the handle will get super hot. Let's go ahead and take a look at the other side. Looks like we're getting a pretty good sear, and it also seems pretty even the way that it's searing. That's the cool part about using this 316 stainless steel, and also it's just going to hold up better over time. Obviously, you guys could cook this in more oil and it wouldn't get stuck to the pan quite as much, but the way that I'm cooking the steak, I'm just cooking it completely dry basically. Then we're going to throw it in the oven with some butter afterwards. So as you guys can see, we got a really nice sear. We have some nice crispy brown edges there. It looks really good. Let me give you guys a closer look. Overall, really happy with the way it's cooking. It's still cooking really even. All right, guys, so we are finishing up right now. Once again, we got a really nice sear on the backside of the steak, and I think that's gonna be about it for the actual searing portion. And we're gonna go ahead and let this cool back down before we do any cleaning. All right, guys, so we got almost all of the gunk off of there. We did cook that steak at a really high temperature, and some of the debris is still on here, so I just have to scrub it just a little bit more, but we're getting pretty close to being all the way cleaned up. All right, guys, so after a couple of minutes, this is what the pan's looking like. It was pretty easy to clean just with that scouring sponge. Then from there, I'm gonna go ahead and rinse this all off, and then I'll probably season it with some oil and get that oil cooked on there. But overall, pretty easy cleaning experience with the Chefwin pan. So that sums up the cooking test overall. I've been really happy with this pan so far. It's the perfect size just for everyday cooking, whether that's steak or frying chicken. The build quality seems really nice, so I think that this pan's gonna be in this condition for a long time and should last us a while. And with that being said, that's it for my super quick review of this Chefwin pan.